All right. Once again, let me get the program queued up. And it will start on TikTok in 3, 2, 1. All right, what up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. Trump has it again. Trump wins again. That is going to be the topic of discussion today. Another big win for Trump in the state of New Hampshire. Clearly not by a strong margin like in Iowa. And that's for understandable reasons. The voting bloc, the constituency base in New Hampshire is not like Iowa. It's a hell of a lot more liberals, a lot more independents in New Hampshire versus Iowa. Nevertheless, Trump has won again. So we have to start asking ourselves, is Trump on the path to greatness, to being re-elected? Because there's a lot of folks on the left that think Trump cannot win, but when you see him in these elections, at least among Republicans, he is doing astoundingly well. Now, remember, during the 2016 election, a lot of folks thought Trump was a joke as well. Not saying that Trump is likely to win or likely to lose, just simply saying, is it possible that folks on the left, and particularly Trump detractors, never Trumpers, traditional Republicans that wouldn't support Trump, is it possible that once again folks are underestimating the abilities, the capabilities of President Trump? New Hampshire was a state many thought would go to Nikki Haley, thought she would do better in New Hampshire than she did. Nevertheless, Trump has come out of that state victorious once again. Now, Nikki Haley has not dropped out of the race. And I'm going to simply ask you folks, why? Why do you believe at this stage in the game, after losing by a landslide in Iowa and losing fairly convincingly in New Hampshire, and having polls that say in her own home state, she has absolutely no chance of winning? Why is she still in the game? Even Ron DeSantis and Vivek Ramaswamy, who probably would be favored more by the Republican Party than Nikki Haley at this point, have both dropped out. Why is Nikki Haley still in the game? Is it because she feels she has an honest chance of winning? Or perhaps is she on the path of Chris Christie, where she's simply trying to play spoiler with some type of adverse feelings towards President Trump or the former President Trump? What say you? Now, as always, the program is and forever will remain MAGA friendly. You know how the program runs. MAGA are always my preferred guests. Nevertheless, liberals are welcome as well. What do we say on every broadcast? We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. We are strong believers in free speech here. If you don't agree with the host, nobody gives a damn. That's how the program is. That's how the program is ran. Always has been. Looking in the comments, Vaughn says they want the alternative. Elaborate. What is the alternative? Haley would dog walk Biden. So I'm happy Trump is getting nominated because he is beatable, says Dagger. How many of you folks believe that, by way of the comments, simply type Trump or Haley, which one of these individuals you believe would have a stronger chance in defeating President Biden? Now, remember, a lot of folks on the right do not favor what Haley may be promising. But could she be a stronger candidate to go against Biden? Which one do you believe, if it goes to the general election, has a better chance of defeating Biden between Haley and Trump? Looking at the comments, 2002, your mom says 100% Trump. Kennedy. Text in regards to Kennedy, not likely. Now, you're saying in the primary, Kennedy may have a better chance of beating Trump. You know, I'm not going to immediately dispel that theory. However, I think the biggest issue with Kennedy in addition to the fact that the Democratic National Convention is not putting any funds or any power behind him. He has to do it all on his own. But also, when you listen to Kennedy speak, he's not discussing core issues that Democrats are concerned with. So if Kennedy was going to beat Biden, are you suggesting he runs as a Republican? Because I don't see the Democratic voter on average going with Kennedy over Biden. He's not covering anything Democrats are concerned with. He's still talking about COVID. Most Democrats they're beyond that. Most Democrats tend to trust the science. So the conspiracy theories or the way you view COVID as some type of government creation or the medical community don't know what they're talking about, that resonates more with the right. So I don't see Kennedy doing it in terms of liberals. Media is really downplaying Trump's run, says Timbo. I agree with that. However, let's be clear, and I'll go right to the box after this, but let's be clear. There is a mainstream media. We heard that with Sarah Palin. However, there now is a very strong right-wing media. There's several right-wing media outlets. Certainly, the internet gives right-wingers a chance to voice their opinion as well. So when you say the media is downplaying Trump's run, not on Fox News, OAN, Newsmax, a lot of the podcasts that folks on the right know, Trump's run is not being downplayed in regards to right-wing media. Just like we could talk about January 6th. Well, right-wing media is pretty much like, let's move on from that. That's, nothing to see here, folks. The media has their own agenda. There's no denying, whether right or left, the media has their own agenda. Going back to the box, tap the screen, get your boy up to 10,000. We're asking that question. President Trump is won by I won't say by a landslide in New Hampshire, but Trump's victories are looking stronger and stronger. He did better in New Hampshire than he was expected to do. And in Iowa, Ron DeSantis got trounced. Ron DeSantis went to all 99 counties in Iowa. I believe Vivek Ramaswamy did it twice. Look what ended up happening. So are folks underestimating the course Trump is taking to get back in the White House? Are folks underestimating Trump? Going straight to the box, we'll go to RV Life. It's a dreamer, man. I would love to have RV Life, but good afternoon, good evening, rather. Welcome to the program. In regards to, hey, good to have you on. In regards to President Trump, do you think, like one of my commenters said, folks are downplaying the significance of what he's doing?
No, you cannot downplay anything a political candidate says or does at the end of the day.
Well, when I say downplaying, I mean, is Trump actually doing better in his efforts to get reelected than the media is letting on?
Well, if you really think about it, if you really believe in the polls, I mean, I don't personally believe in the polls.
Okay.
I believe in what happens. I mean, did I vote for Trump the past 2 times? Yeah. I felt like he was a better choice than Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden. I mean, if you really think about it, are we better off under Donald Trump or Joe Biden? I mean, grocery prices say differently.
Well, and I will say this. When you ask the question, are we better off under Biden or better off under Trump compared to Biden? It really depends on what metrics you're using, because there are aspects of our lives that are better off under Biden, and there's certainly aspects under Trump. Economically, Trump right now is winning in terms of who would be the better president in regards to the economy. And many folks will tell you it's the economy stupid when it comes to elections. But there's certainly aspects of American life that are not better under Trump. So it depends on what you're talking about.
Yeah, it all depends on what your main, what's the way I can put this for TikTok standards so I don't get in trouble.
Well, go ahead.
Personal is all politics is anymore is personal opinion. I hate to say it like that, but who you feel like is a better choice for president and who I feel is a better choice for president could be like black and white.
True. How do you feel, though, about folks suggesting that Trump would divide this nation even further?
I mean, I don't see a division just because Trump is president or Joe Biden is president. Like, I look at everything. I don't just look at speeches. Okay, he did a good debate. Okay, he's my next choice for president. No, what are your policies?
But let me rephrase it. Do you see America currently as a divided nation?
Oh, yeah.
Why are we divided?
I think it has to do a lot with the COVID thing. It has a lot to do with it.
Why are we divided on COVID?
Because you got certain people out here actually believing that the vaccination is bad. You got people on the other side saying vaccination is good. I mean, shouldn't it be our own decision whether we want to get X vaccination versus another?
What would make you think it's not your decision?
I mean, if we're forced to take a vaccination or anything medical, yes.
What would make you think we're being forced to take a vaccination? You're not forced to be vaccinated in America.
No, you're not forced to have a vaccination in America, but if you want to go to another country, if you want to take your family on a cruise ship for a vacation, you're kind of forced because the simple fact that you can't just get on a cruise ship without the vaccination.
Yeah, but what happened to...
So in a way, you're kind of forced.
Well, but think about what you said, being forced to be vaccinated to go to another country. Do you believe in this phrase? You can come, but come the legal way. Do you support that?
I absolutely support that, and I've worked with people throughout the years that were immigrants that came through the legal process the right way.
So what if going to another country, their legal way involves you getting vaccinated? You wouldn't have a problem with that. You're going the legal way, right?
That is absolutely correct.
Okay. All right.
I mean, in order for me or you to go to another country, we have to have what?
A visa. What are you talking about?
We gotta have some sort of legal documentation stating that, hey, we're the good guys. We're just coming to visit for a
All right, the reason I brought it up is because you made it sound like getting vaccinated, having to get vaccinated to go to another country was a problem. But if you're for following the law, then you're...
It's not a problem whatsoever.
Okay.
Like, I watch and listen to your show all the time, doing it for 2 years, I think it has been.
Thank you. So at the end of the day, now, obviously you believe that financially, economically at least, America was better off under Trump. But with the polls suggesting that Trump is not going to beat Biden, do you think the polls are getting it wrong?
I mean, you can take the polls for what they are. You really can.
Okay.
Because look at what the polls said in 2016. Hillary Clinton versus Donald Trump. The polls suggested that Hillary Clinton was going to kick Donald Trump's butt by a landslide.
The same polls predicted a red wave this time in November.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get your point. So you do believe that the polls suggesting that Biden is going to win are likely to be wrong?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Do you think Trump will survive the court cases, 91 charges, 4 different jurisdictions? You think he will beat all of that as well?
I mean, it's really difficult to say right now because, like, you and I, the general public, we're not going to ever know what the government actually does or says, even though I used to work for them.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that. All right, fair enough. I do got to move it on. We'll see if Trump is victorious as you stated, but I do appreciate you tuning in. Come on back anytime.
Always.
Hey, thank you. All right, looking in the comments, are the polls wrong? As my last caller pointed out, Hillary Clinton was expected to win. The Republicans were expected to have a red wave in November of 2023 or 2022. None of that actually happened. Dude, giving me a headache, says Pipe. Come on, be nice to the guests, unless you're talking about yours truly. What is it? Why would he want a criminal to be his president? Dina Clark. Now, my last caller, who's not on actually not up in the box right now, but you're asking, we'll ask this to a variety of you folks that do favor Trump getting reelected. Dina is asking, why would you want a criminal to be your president? For a couple viewers on YouTube, why would you want a criminal to be your president? That's a legitimate question. I think I know the answer, but I'll let you folks elaborate on it while I go back to the box. Why would you want a criminal to be your president? Going back to the box, we'll bring up Gus. Good afternoon, Gus. Welcome to the program. Is Trump going to pull it off, Gus?
I hope not.
Why not?
Well, for the sake of most of my family, even though we came legally, the laws that they're trying to change, because I really do want a secure border. I want them.
Hang on a second. You got something, you got a loud background. You got some music or something playing in the background?
Hold on, let me move. Sorry about that, sir.
Okay. Now, what were you saying?
We came, my family, we came here, some legally, some not. What worries me about Trump is if they change the birth, if you're born in the United States, you're an American. They're trying to change that. And
You're talking about what they refer to as an anchor baby. So if you come to America and you're not a citizen, but you give birth, by law, that child is an instant American citizen. You're saying the Trump administration is trying to change that.
Yes. I've heard several different Republicans say it.
Yeah.
It would devastate families. I was brought as a 2-year-old. Never stepped back in Mexico. My papers are fixed now, but it would devastate me to be sent back to a country I've never even been to.
Yeah. I get your point. So in other words, they could be deporting people back to a country where they don't know anything about the culture, don't even speak the language. I think Law and Order actually had an episode like that, where a 20-year-old got in trouble with the law and they actually deported him back to Mexico. And yeah, he didn't even speak Spanish. He had been in America his whole life. He didn't know nothing about the country. So what you're saying is there's a lot of folks in this country right now that are currently like that.
Yes. My kids. I'm usually Republican. I'm very Republican. I was raised during the Reagan years. The whole 80s thing, my dad's a Republican. Mm-hmm. Even as a Republican, my dad, he even thinks, we can't vote for this man. So I'm not saying that I'm Democratic.
Did you vote for this is Trump's third go round? Did you vote for him at all any of the previous elections?
No.
Wow. And so you've seen Trump as a undesirable politician from the moment he came on the stage.
The minute he won the Republican, I said, "Are you kidding?"
What about him, in addition to that law, what else about Trump concerns you most? Now, I'm assuming you are of Hispanic heritage?
Yes.
Okay. What country?
And I know everybody here in the comments, I'm reading the comments, are saying, "Are you here legally?" Yes, we're here legally. My dad's been here since 42.
Wow.
But the problem is, the real problem with this whole Trump thing is, for me, is just what he ran on. He ran on tough immigration, which we need to just enforce the immigration.
Do you support the wall? Do you support a wall?
No, I support catch and release, which is already a law.
So if someone's coming into the country illegally, catch them and release them back into their own country or into America?
No, catch and deport.
Okay.
I have family that's illegal. Don't get me wrong.
So let me ask you this: then. If you support catch and deport or catch and release, what's stopping the person from continuing to try it over and over again?
Well, I'll tell you, if you want legal to become legal, and you get caught and you don't file amnesty or refugee, then once they deport you, if they catch you again, you're not going to get. Once you're caught once, that's it. You can't ever file for your green card or to become a citizen.
Permanently?
People aren't understanding.
Is that permanent? If you get caught entering the country illegally, you're saying you never for the rest of your life can try to come in legally?
I think it's 10 years.
Okay, 10 years. I see somebody in the comments is saying the same thing. So you said some of your family is here undocumented. I'm curious, if you don't mind, you don't have to answer it, but how did they get in the country? What did they do? Did they cross the Rio Grande? Or, I mean, how did they get in?
They fly. Mexicans don't cross the river. What you're seeing right now crossing the river has nothing to do with Mexico. Those
Okay.
those people are from South America.
Okay.
If I want a cousin, let me tell you, if I want a cousin to come here from Mexico right now, all I tell him to do is get a visa, a visiting visa, get on a plane, come here, stay at my house, we'll figure out a job and a place later, and then as soon as he gets on his feet, he's gone. You know what I mean?
How do you get a job if you don't have work rights? With a visitor's visa, you don't have the right to work.
Construction, feed yards, anything agricultural, they'll take just a number.
Now, these construction jobs and things like this, are they basically ran by legalized folks of Hispanic heritage? Because this individual may not speak English.
White people hire, construction companies hire whoever wants to work.
Wow. So you're saying a lot of these white-owned companies are hiring folks that they know are not here legally?
Yeah, they know. You know, and this is another thing. Everybody's always complaining. King Ranch in Texas, southern part of Texas, is one of the biggest ranches, and they hire illegals. The Bushes, they own a cattle ranch. They hire illegals. Any big person has illegals. Where any big company, Koch brothers, biggest. So you're not going to stop it until you enforce a law that says you can't hire illegals.
So would you support President Trump? I'm assuming I already know the answer, but President Trump suggested if you're caught entering the country illegally, minimum 5 years of incarceration. Would you support that?
No.
All right. So what do you? So
I'll tell you what I'd like. I'd like somebody more in the middle right now to run. Really, ideally, we need a third party, but it's not going to happen. More people need to join a third party, and then we will see differences. Right now, with somebody said jails. Yeah, we can't house Mexicans in jail or people from Honduras just because they're illegal.
Let me interrupt and ask this question. I'm gonna have to move it on, but I want to ask you this because you said most of these folks coming in these caravans right now are coming from South America and they're not coming from Mexico. Any idea why Mexico is allowing foreigners to just walk right through their country towards the United States? Why isn't Mexico securing its border to prevent these caravans from coming in?
I got the answer right there. AMLO actually is asking them to stay in Mexico and offering them amnesty if they want to stay in Mexico.
Who was offering them to stay? Wait. Who was asking them to stay in Mexico?
AMLO, the president of Mexico.
Oh, really? So he doesn't want them.
Yes, and Canada also.
Yeah, I know Canada has stated if you.
Yeah, Canada and Mexico needs more laborers because the young population in Mexico is over here.
Yeah. So yeah, that's interesting. So Mexicans' manpower is actually coming to this country to work.
Yes.
Wow.
So they're asking people to stay, but the problem is The American dream is bringing them to the United States.
Fair enough. So why is there so many polls suggesting that Trump is starting to do better with the Mexican community? And by the way, tap the screen, get your boy up to 20,000. You at 700 plus. But
I'll tell you why. Mexicans are Catholic, and we are hardworking people. And they, like myself, we want to be Republican. I own lots of guns, but I don't think Trump is the right one. That's all.
You don't see Trump as racist, do you?
Some of his comments, yes.
Examples.
When he says that all immigrants are rapists and drug dealers, I hit a nerve because I'm an immigrant. And so he's calling me a rapist and a drug dealer.
Wow. All right. Fair enough. I do got to move it on. Very interesting call. Anytime, please come back. Don't be a stranger. Really enjoyed that.
Thank you.
Absolute, Gus. All right. Looking in the comment. Wow. So there you go. The genuine immigrant at one point, now living in America, actually has ties to some folks who are not here legally. I could have talked to that man for hours. But looking in the comments, Biden 79% and Trump 50%. Biden wins. What are those numbers from? Biden 79% of what? Trump 50% of what? It is I tapping in. I appreciate that. Thank you. I love the Mexican people. They are just like everyone else, says Dina Clark. Same thing. I enjoy folks from all cultures and backgrounds. As long as you give me a fair shake, I can absolutely do the same for you. So, I actually got a suspended life. I got a phone call coming in. Hang on a second. Yo. Hey, what's up?